What's going on, everybody? I'm Andrew Robson and you're watching Rakuyo's Deciduous Bonsai channel. Today, we're going to talk about this $125 Stewartia from a garden center. And we're going to transform it into the show quality bonsai that it is destined to be. All right, so we are out in the garden. This is Rakuyo Bonsai in Portland, Oregon. It's a beautiful, warm, sunny December day. The sun is shining. It's 80 degrees. Everyone's outside enjoying, basking in this beautiful weather. Not really. It's cold and it's damp and it's not the most inspiring day. But you know what? We deal with it. We have our Rakuyo hoodies. We have our green tea from Minto Island Tea Farm from Salem, Oregon. We have a beautiful Stewartia Koreana that we're going to work on, bring it in the studio, and have some fun with. All right, we're here in the studio at Rakuyo. It's going to be a good day. We're going to work on this Stewartia Koreana, and we're going to transform it into a beautiful, not finished bonsai. You heard me. We don't turn deciduous trees into finished bonsai. It's not a thing. Don't try it. It's not a thing. Deciduous bonsai is your 401k. It's your IRA that you never contribute to because you just buy cool bonsai stuff. I don't do that either. I'm dumb. But this Stewartia, we know that because we're smart. We know that deciduous bonsai is not a before and after. It's a process. And so we're going to put this tree along on that process. I'm going to drop $100 into that deciduous 401k. And we're going to watch it grow. So today we're going to do some trimming. I'm going to get my scissors out. We're going to trim all these extensions that I do not need, bring this tree back to silhouette, and see what's next. We're going to have fun. Bonsai's about fun. Let's get into it. All right, now it's time to prune this Stewartia Koreana. I have a nice sharp pair of scissors. I got this tree in front of me. Life is great. I'm working on a bonsai. You know, it doesn't get much better. Okay, so Stewartia. You know this, but just to recap, Stewartia is a alternate leaf plant, meaning I got a bud on the left, then an internode, and then a bud on the right, and left and right and left and right. And those alternate leaf plants, we can't prune them like a Japanese maple. You got to cut them to at least 2 buds. We don't like pruning to 1 bud. Don't prune to 1 bud. We have to prune to 2 buds. You know why? Because if I prune to 1 bud, I don't get any gains. This IRA doesn't get any gains. We don't grow. If I prune to 2 buds, we grow. We get more ramification than what we started with. So we're going to take our sharp scissors. I'm going to find a shoot like this. I'm going to count 1, 2. Then I'm going to cut. It's easy. All right, we are pruning this bonsai. Now, I want to talk a little bit about where this tree came from. This is $100 or $125 Stewartia. That's cheap. Bonsai are expensive. Haven't you been on bonsai auctions lately? That's cheap. And let me tell you a little bit about where it came from. So this tree came from Portland Nursery, which is a local garden center here in Portland, Oregon. And I probably walked around and looked for this tree 10 times before I found it, meaning I went to the garden center 10 times and found nothing. So maybe it's not cheap if you account for your time, but if you like just getting out of the house, if you gotta walk your dog, it's a great way to just get out and try and find some bonsai material. So I got this tree at Portland Nursery. It's a great local garden center. They got lots of stuff. And I found this Stewartia Koreana for, I think, $125. Now, I've had this tree for maybe about 2 years. Maybe that's it, 2 years, $125. You can have a bonsai. It's amazing. All right, so I've been working on this tree for 2 years. And it's starting to come along. It's starting to look like something. That retirement account, that 401k, it's growing. We're making some gains. All right. So I got this tree from Portland Nursery. I brought it home. I think I did a rough cut. You can kind of see the evidence of some of those rough cuts that I did. And then I just let it grow. Something we don't do enough of in bonsai is let things grow. Trees need to grow. Trees need to grow so they get healthy. Trees need to grow so that We have stuff to play with, stuff to prune, back to 2 buds, because you know how to prune Stewartia. So, we're pruning this tree, we're having fun. Bonsai's all about fun. We are rocking and rolling. Now, the nice thing about deciduous trees is they don't take that long to prune. You can have, I know all of you have 500 trees in your backyard. It's okay. It's okay. I have 500 trees in my backyard too. It's okay. We can be here together for that. But, you have those 500 trees in your backyard. Guess what? You can keep on top of your deciduous a little easier, because look at how fast this is. Look at how fast it is to go in, count to 2 buds, and boom, make a prune. Okay. So, bonsai don't need to be expensive. Now, if you're going and looking at a garden center, don't just buy anything. I mean, if you need to practice, just buy something to practice on. But if you're actually looking for something that's going to be a nice bonsai, be patient, which is hard. Be patient. Get yourself out of that Amazon Prime, I want it right now. I want it, now. I want it on my doorstep right now. Get out of that Amazon mindset. Get out of that mindset and get in a more bonsai mindset. Look for something that's special. Look for something that is going to exude quality. Look for something that's going to be fun to play with, that's going to, develop well. And so what I was looking for was something that had some low branching. And if you look at this trunk here, I have some low branching. A lot of that came after I did those hard cuts. But look, it has these beautiful, nice acute fractures. And these acute fractures made me think, I could prune this back hard and make a nice bonsai out of it. So it had some movement. It had some division down there. It wasn't just a log. And so, of course, we bought it, we brought it home, and we started that 401k process. And now we're doing it. We're crushing it. We're taking this tree, we're pruning it, we're making a bonsai. Not today, because you're smart. Bonsai are not made overnight, especially deciduous bonsai, and you know that. But we're making a bonsai. We're dropping $100 into this retirement account so that we have something beautiful for down the road. So I'm doing my pruning. I'm cutting things back to these 2 buds. And we're having fun. Deciduous bonsai is fun. All right, we're just about there. Well, there might be a couple I missed. Nobody's perfect. There's a couple I missed, but that kind of gets us in the right mindset. So we have this $125 nursery stock Stewartia. We just brought it in the studio. We pruned it to 2 buds so we can get some gains. And now we're going to figure out how else can we make this better. Don't just throw it outside after you do pruning. Don't just prune to 2 buds and let the tree happen. Figure out what to do next. Do some gains. See if there's any improvements that we need to make to the branches. So we're going to do that. We might throw a piece of wire or 2 on. Don't be afraid of wire. Wiring deciduous is fine. You just got to take it off. You just got to remember, which is hard, but it's fine. So we're going to look at this tree, see if anything needs wire. But before we do that, actually, we have to do one more very important thing. And this is what I call, at Rakuyo Bonsai, this is what I call destubifying. Yes, it's in the dictionary. Look it up. Destubifying. Meaning, this tree's going to have a lot of stubs on it. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to prune those stubs out. All right, now it's time for that destubifying process. Now, look at this right here. Do you see that stub? Nobody invited that stub. Nobody said, hey stub, come on over, let's hang out. We got to cut that stub out. It's not welcome. So I take my tool, my scissors, my sharp scissors, and I take them and I remove that stub. And then I look and I see, oh gosh, there's another one. And I take my scissors and I prune those stubs out. Nobody wants stubs. Nobody invited stubs. Now, when we're pruning in the winter, we have to leave some stubs. I left stubs up top when I was working on this tree. But those old stubs, nobody wants old stubs. So we're going to take our scissors, we're going to make a nice clean tree, we're going to de-stubify. I'm going to take all of these stubs and cut them out. Nobody wants these stubs. All right, we're de-stubifying this tree. Now this is something that nobody talks about. Now you looked in the dictionary, you didn't see anyone talking about de-stubifying, but it should be a word because stubs on deciduous trees are messy. They're not clean. They're not orderly. So we have to take our tool and we got to kick them out. We got to kick them out of our trees so that we really start to create nice, beautiful lines in the branches. All right, so I'm going around, I'm de-stubifying. Now, this is the stubs. Like I said, nobody wants them, nobody invited them, but this is like mundane work that we have to do. Not all bonsai work is exciting. Stubs are boring. Stubs aren't fun. But, it's going to take me like 5 minutes to go around and get all of these little stubs off. But that's fun anyway. Mundane stuff is fun. Not everything needs to be like a punch in the face, like, woo, kind of fun. So we're going to take our tool. We're going to de-stubify. Now, your garden center might not have Stewartia, but it might have something else that's pretty fun too. So when you're looking for these $125 trees, have some fun. Try something that's out of the box. Don't look for something. Don't look for, this magic tree, because when you have expectations, you might walk by something that you're not expecting that has really nice quality, really nice feeling, really nice whatever. So just go to a garden center. Have an open mind when you're looking for stuff because you might find something that surprised you. I didn't want a Stewartia coreana. I didn't know what that was. I want Monadelpha because all the cool bonsai people have Monadelpha. I wanted a Stewartia Monadelpha, but I didn't find one. I found a Stewartia coreana. And because it was interesting, we brought it home and we're having fun with it. Bonsai is all about fun. So we're pruning all the stubs out. Like I said, nobody thanks you for stubs. Nobody gives you gratitude for pruning all the stubs off. But guess what? They don't like it when you take a bonsai to a show and you have all these stubs here. So we got to do it. We got to take our tool, boom, and we got to cut those stubs out. So go to the garden center. Don't buy something just to buy something, but go to the garden center and see what they got. Maybe they don't have a Stewartia coreana. Maybe they have a Katsura. Maybe they have a linden. Maybe they have, an interesting red maple that's neglected in the back of the corner. Maybe they have a beech. Everybody loves beech. Maybe they have, some type of shrub. What if they had a blueberry that was really cool? My point is we don't look for particular things. We look for quality. We look for something that we can do something with. We look for something that might inspire us, even if we don't know that it's going to do that up front. So go to the garden center, keep an open mind, look for something that has a lot of low branching, a lot of interest. Garden centers, we love them. We love garden centers, but they're making a lot of boring plants. They're making a lot of plants that look the same. Just ramrod state trunk and, they all look the same. They don't look interesting. And so we got to look for the stuff that looks interesting, the stuff that has movement when everything else is ramrod straight. We got to look for the stuff that has low branching because nobody wants low branching on a tree in your front yard, but we want it for bonsai. So we're going around, we're de-stubifying this tree. Now, when you're de-stubifying, you might look around and start planning out what we're going to do next. So I'm walking around, I'm de-stubifying, I'm getting all these nasty, unwelcome stubs out of here. And I'm looking to see, does this branch need influence? Do I need to wire this? Do I need to prune this back harder? I'm getting familiar. We're soaking this in. We're really, taking in this tree that's in front of us. And we're having fun. So I'm going around, I'm pruning, I'm looking for things that I missed because like I said, nobody's perfect. We're finding those things that we missed. We're pruning out our stubs. Now, this tree has maybe a lot of branching right now. Maybe it's got too much. Maybe some of the branches are wrong. Maybe they're in the wrong spot. Maybe they're growing at a weird angle. But that's okay. This doesn't need to be perfect right now. You know this isn't a finished bonsai. We're not trying to make this done today. You know that. And so we're going to leave some imperfect stuff on here, because the more imperfect stuff we leave, the more branches we have. And when we have more branches, we create energy dilution. Now, if you look at this beautiful pot, this is made by my friend Now, Tokutake Bonsai. You already follow him on Instagram, but if you don't, go follow his page, because he's making some of the most exciting ceramics here in the United States. So go follow Now. Now, in this pot that Now made, you can only get X amount of roots. Now hasn't figured out that infinity thing to get infinite roots in a bonsai pot. But he's working on it because he's smart. So we have a finite amount of roots. Now, the more branching I have with this finite amount of roots, the more the tree is going to slow down. If I double my branching up here, my leaves are going to get smaller. My inner nodes are going to shrink because I haven't added any more roots, but I'm adding a lot more foliar and branch density. So we're going to leave stuff that's not perfect. This branch here, it's not perfect. It's grown down. It's a little dumb. It didn't really get the memo. But guess what? We're going to leave it because it's going to help us. It's going to help us get more bonsai quality growth, get those small leaves, get those short inner nodes. We're going to look for maybe groups of 3. Now, a group of 3 can create a reverse taper. Nobody wants reverse taper. We're not going to let this tree get a reverse taper. We're professionals. I'm a professional. And so instead of letting that group of 3 get a reverse taper, we're going to leave it. And we're going to stop it before that happens. But in the meantime, that group of 3 is going to help slow this thing down. We're going to slow it down so that we can create nice bonsai quality growth. We want that quality growth. You want that quality growth. You're sitting here. You're looking at this tree. And you're thinking, I want that quality growth with you, Andrew. You do. We like quality deciduous bonsai here at Rakuyo. So we're going to leave those ugly things, because those ugly things help us out. They help us get to where we want to go. And then once they start causing a problem later, we might take them off. But right now, just like the stubs, they're ugly. But they played a role at some point. So we're going to leave a lot of this density to help kind of contribute to where we need to go. All right, so we are done with our trimming. We are done destubifying. We are done with everything that needs to be done on this tree today. We didn't end up putting any wire on because it doesn't really need it. We can do that later. You know, we don't need to do everything right now. We can do some stuff later. Deciduous bonsai, it's a process. It's going to take time. And so rather than just put 1 or 2 random pieces of wire on that I might forget about, we're just not going to do it. Maybe next year. Subscribe to the channel and come back next year and watch us wire this tree for you. So we are done with what we need to do today. This was a $125 Stewartia. It's a Stewartia Koreana. It's probably 3 years into its bonsai journey, but that's fine, because the journey in bonsai is what's fun. Thanks for checking out our video. I'm Andrew Robson. This is Rakuyo Bonsai. Hit that like button at the bottom of the screen if you liked how ridiculous I was, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep you up to date with deciduous content and all that deciduous love that you have and that I have and that we share together.